October 11th, 2025, HM Prison Wakefield, a place Britain calls Monster Mansion. At 9:39 a.m., the silence breaks. Prison guards rush toward a cell. Inside, a man lies bleeding out. This isn't just any inmate. This is Ian Watkins, former rock god, convicted pedophile, and in this moment, a murder victim. How did the frontman of multi-platinum band Lostprophets end up here? This isn't just a story about a crime. This is a story about fame, depravity, and the brutal justice that found him in the end. In the early hours of October 11th, 2025, a man once adored by millions was found dead inside one of Britain's most secure prisons. His name, Ian Watkins, former frontman of the band Lostprophets, a rock star whose fame inspired legions of fans, now reduced to a shocking headline: murder behind bars. No warning, no fans, no stage, only the stark walls of HMP Wakefield, and a crime that would send shockwaves through both the UK and beyond. How did a man go from stadium lights to solitary confinement? And why did the world watch in disbelief as his life spiraled into darkness? Ian Watkins was born in Pontypridd, Wales in 1977. From humble beginnings, he emerged as a talented vocalist with a distinctive voice and an uncanny ability to command a stage. By the late 1990s, Lostprophets had become more than a band. They were a movement. Fans wore their shirts, memorized lyrics, and followed every tour. Watkins' charisma made him a figure of adoration. He sold out arenas. He screamed to crowds of thousands. He had awards, money, fame. But behind the rock star image hid a monster, a predator who targeted the most innocent victims. Today, we trace the shocking timeline from stadium lights to prison walls, from screaming fans to silent justice. This is the fall of Ian Watkins. He wasn't just another rock singer. He embodied the dream. From small local shows to international tours, sold-out arenas and magazine covers. People didn't just listen, they idolized. And yet, behind the applause, behind the lights and cameras, a darker life was taking shape, a life that would eventually shatter everything he built. By 2012, cracks in Ian's public persona became visible. Investigations revealed a life hidden in shadows, one far removed from sold-out concerts and adoring fans. What unfolded in the following months stunned not only the public, but the music world itself. In December 2012, police arrested Watkins. The charges were horrifying. He would eventually face convictions that would forever taint his name. Courtroom footage, media frenzy, and the relentless attention of the press painted a portrait of a man who betrayed the world's trust in the most unimaginable ways. Fans and colleagues were left reeling. Some denied it. Some pretended it wasn't true. But the evidence was undeniable. The fall from grace was complete, and Watkins' life would never return to the world of music. Instead, it would be defined by bars, both metaphorical and literal. 1997, Pontypridd, Wales. A group of teenagers form a band. They call themselves Lostprophets. At the helm, Ian Watkins. Charismatic, intense, ambitious. Their debut album, The Fake Sound of Progress, catches attention, but it starts something that catapults them to fame. The album goes gold, then platinum. They're touring the world, playing Reading and Leeds festivals. To their fans, they're rock gods. To the industry, they're the future of British rock. Watkins basks in the adoration, the screaming crowds, the magazine covers. He tells the media to win Best Band in the best country in the world is wicked, but darkness already brews beneath. As fame grows, Watkins changes. He demands separate dressing rooms. He distances himself from bandmates, who mostly relocate to Los Angeles while he remains in Wales. The drugs become harder, the behavior more erratic. Former friends would later describe a Jekyll and Hyde transformation. The public saw a rock star. Those closer saw something darker emerging. The stage lights were blinding everyone to what was happening in the shadows. Behind the rock star image, Watkins was descending into depravity. As early as 2008, warnings were sounded. An ex-girlfriend, Joan Jedzelix, discovered disturbing images on his computer, She went to South Wales Police. Then again, and again. At least 6 separate reports were made between 2008 and 2011. An Australian woman accused him of assaulting her child. The parents of a 2-year-old in California reported abuse. The response? Inadequate, slow. The fame, the reputation, the charismatic frontman. It all created a shield. Meanwhile, Watkins' encrypted laptop contained a password that should raise every alarm. I fuck kids. Watkins used a celebrity as a weapon, a tool of manipulation. He texted one mother, "If you belong to me, so does your baby." The scale of his crimes was staggering. Multiple children, infants. The evidence was hidden behind encryption, requiring GCHQ, Britain's Cyber Intelligence Agency, to finally crack the case wide open. Operation Globe, they called it, and what they found would shock seasoned investigators. The double life continued for years, the Rockstar performing for thousands by night, the predator harming the most vulnerable by day. How could this continue for so long? The system failed, multiple times. The very fame that built and became a weapon against accountability. But in 2012, the walls began closing in. A drug war would become the thread that unraveled everything. December 2012, police execute a drug warrant at Watkins' Pontipert home. Computers, phones, storage devices seized. What they found would launch one of Britain's most shocking sex crime cases. December 19, 2012, Watkins is charged of conspiracy to engage in sexual activity with a 1-year-old. The music world recoils. Fans are horrified. Lostprophets disband immediately, their legacy forever tainted. The trial reveals depths of depravity that break new ground. The judge would later say any decent person would experience shock, revulsion, and incredulity. November 26, 2013. Watkins pleads guilty. Attempted rape of a baby. Sexual assault of children under 13. Conspiring to rape a child. Possessing, making, and taking indecent images of children. Extreme animal pornography. The list goes on. 13 charges in total. The prosecution describes crimes beyond imagination. From his prison cell, Watkins makes a recorded phone call. He refers to his offenses as mega loss. The lack of remorse is staggering. December 18, 2013, sentencing day. Justice John Royce delivers his verdict. 29 years in prison, plus 6 years on extended license. He tells Watkins his crimes have plunged into new depths of depravity. The NSBCC responds, "We must remember that this case isn't about celebrity. It's about victims. And those victims are children." The gavel falls. The courtroom empties. But for Watkins, the true punishment was just beginning. HMP Wakefield, Monster Mansion, home to Britain's most dangerous criminals. Here, Watkins entered a different hierarchy. A world where pedophiles occupy the lowest rung. He wasn't safe. In August 2023, he was attacked, stabbed by another inmate. He survived with non-life-threatening injuries. Just months before his death, a prison report found violence at Wakefield had increased markedly. The report noted, "Many prisoners told us they felt unsafe, particularly older men convicted of sexual offenses." Watkins himself had previously complained about his fellow inmates. Murderers, mass murderers, rapists, pedophiles, serial killers, the worst of the worst. He was describing his own neighbors. Life in Wakefield for a child sex offender, especially a famous one, is precarious. Protection schemes, solitary confinement, constant vigilance. Watkins had already been caught with a mobile phone in prison in 2019, showing his continued disregard for rules. But in a place like Wakefield, the informal justice system operates parallel to the official one. And for Watkins, that justice was coming. October 2025. Watkins had served 12 years of his 29-year sentence. He wouldn't be eligible for parole until 2031. At 48 years old, he faced decades more behind bars. But on the morning of October 11th, time ran out. 9:39 a.m. Saturday, October 11th, 2025. Prison staff report a serious assault. Emergency services rush to HMP Wakefield, but it's too late. Ian Watkins is pronounced dead at the scene. Two men, aged 25 and 43, are arrested on suspicion of murder. Sources confirm he was attacked by another inmate. The details are grim. The location, Britain's most notorious prison for sex offenders. The victim, one of Britain's most reviled criminals. The news breaks. Media outlets scramble. The world learns that the disgraced Rockstar has been murdered in prison. The reaction is complicated. There's no mourning for the man, only reflection on the brutal symmetry. A man who harmed the most vulnerable died vulnerable in the place Britain reserved for its monsters. The public response divides. Some call it karma. Others question whether any society should celebrate violent death, even of its worst offenders. The NSBCC's original words echo. This case isn't about celebrity, it's about victims. The victims, the children, their families, remain at the heart of this tragedy. For them, does this change anything? Does this bring peace? Or does it simply add another layer of violence to an already horrific story? Ian Watkins' story represents multiple failures. The fame that protected him, the system that failed to stop him sooner, the prison that couldn't protect him. Two men now face murder charges. New victims created by a system meant to deliver justice. The final chord is played. The stage lights are off. And in the silence, we're left with difficult questions about justice, morality, and what we become when we celebrate the downfall of monsters.